Hello, guys. Very good evening. So, sorry. Today there was little bit delay, in taking, coming on live because was stuck with some personal emergency. So, welcome you all again for Unacademy PUC Commerce class for business study. Okay. So, till yesterday, okay, we started with the first chapter and okay, before going ahead, guys, because I always tell this before going ahead, please like, share, subscribe to our channel, okay, an academy. Okay, do this first when you start your class. Even the people who are new here, please go ahead and subscribe. So as per the our syllabus, we have finished mm, characteristics and significance of management. We have finished objectives of management. We have also finished. Yeah, we have finished till objectives of management, right, guys? So today we will start up. We have also finished the nature of management, I guess, right? Or no? Let me check. Let me check, guys. Give me a moment. Yeah, we have finished the importance of management yesterday because along with the question answer sessions, we did that. Okay, now moving on to the next part, which is nothing but the management. Okay, nature of management. Okay, what is the nature of management basically? Uh, Nature of management, and the author says, not only an author, even most of the management guys, they says that management is an art. They say management as a science. It has also been defined as a management as a profession. So I hope you can see this on the board, okay, on the screen there. So let's discuss first what how the management is an art. What is art, guys? What is art basically? Art, is a skillful and the person, it is a skill, right? One second. Okay, it is a skill, which is personally application for the existing knowledge to achieve the desired result. Basically, everything is an art, right? If you know how to dance, that is an art. The music is an art. A karate or kalaveri, whatever the martial arts, that is also an art for some time. Okay. Uh, so it is. So here, they say management is an art. So how will you define this? One second, give me this some. Okay. So as a management is an art, here there are three important points which has been derived there, which says existence of theoretical knowledge, personalized application, and based on a practical and creativity. So they are trying to prove how management is an art. Okay. One is existence of a theoretical knowledge, and how it is personalized and its personalized application, and it is based on a practical creativity. So when I say you the existence of theoretical knowledge, so art, it's an existence of certain theoretical knowledge, right? Like experts in their representative areas have derived certain basic principles, like which are applicable to the particular form of art. For example, literature on dancing, okay, or whether it's a public speaking, okay, whether acting or music is widely recognized these days. In that sense, it says as a it's a theoretical knowledge, of course, right? When you sit in a management discussion or any boards meeting, if uh, if you have some theoretical knowledge of certain things, then it will be easy for you to put across your point to the management. It is a theoretical knowledge, because running a company with a theoretical knowledge and implementing it on the field, Okay, it is an existence of a theoretical knowledge. And second point is it is personalized application. It is personalized applied. Of course, the use of the basic knowledge which varies from individual to individual, right, guys? Therefore, it is a personalized concept. For example, two dancers or two speakers, two actors, or two writer will always differ in a demonstrating that arts. For example, coming to the organization, we have um, two different people, two different managers, two different team leaders who thinks in a different way, who thinks in a personalized way. For example, there is a situation now in a company. The situation has arisen, you know where and there's one project has come which needs to be completed in 8 days, which has to be completed now. What the group managers will call the people around and say, please, there's a new project which has come up. It has to be finished in the in so many days. So there are three four managers sitting. One will say whether it is possible if we do this, and another may come up with it is not possible, because we already have these employees who are already engaged in some other projects. He will give his own reason. So in that case, so it is a personalized application, right? Everyone's has their different perspective. That's the reason. That's what it means. It's a personalized experience. Okay, and it is based on a practice and creativity. Of course, right? It is based on a creativity. For example, there's some problem arise. uh, there is a saying, right? There's a saying. What do they say? Necessity is a mother of invention. How does this necessity get created when there's a sorry, how does this creativity comes up when there is a necessity? For example, suddenly there are crises in the company. The crisis is because recently what happened, there was crisis because of the COVID, there were crisis because of the Russian wars. Okay, for the global companies, between Russia and what Ukraine, right? So what happened at that time, necessity, there is a lot of innovation idea came in. The creativity was on its peak. And these online classes, lot of online things came in at the time in a COVID era, right, where people were sitting at home. They were not doing, in the lockdown, everyone were locked at home. What happened, the teachers started taking classes through online. And they were what do you say, what else, there were digital marketing things came up. Then people, software engineer as well, they started going, they were not going into the office. Everyone started sitting. Even the banking guys also, the limited whatever, if it is necessary, then only they were supposed to go. Otherwise they were sitting at home and doing all those transactions which were supposed to be done for in the banking sector. Okay, even the insurance, everything was getting online sitting at home. Because of the internet, they were providing lot of facilities. Okay, so what, it gave birth to the creativity, and that was practically implemented in the organizations. That's what it means, right? When it's a management is an art, when I say management is an art, the three important points it consists of: it is an existing of a theoretical knowledge, and it, and with a personalized application, and it is based that application is based on the practice and creativity. Of course, it gives a birth to the creativity which will get practiced into in the organization, right? So this is about the management of arts. Okay, see, every successful manager, what do you say, do their day-to-day job by managing the enterprises based on their studies, based on their observation, based on their experience. Okay, which is available on the various areas of management, like whether it's a marketing, whether it's a finance, whether it is a human being. Okay, which whatever the specialized experience they have in. Okay, so everyone try to put their theoretical knowledge and implement it you know in the strategies, in the decision making, in their what do you say in their strategies basically, and they try to implement it and get the end result which is required for the companies. Okay, so that is all about the management is an art. Anything else which is left? Okay, coming to the next part, which is management as a science. Now there's you need to okay, the next point is in the nature of a this is the nature of a management as a science as well. Now why the science is systemized body of a knowledge, right? That explains what you say, a certain general truth or the operations of the general law. We have a set of rules in the operations or a production. We for example, if you want to produce it in a manufacturing industry, if you want to produce what do you say, a bottle or something. Okay, a bottle or something, it has to go through the process of a knowledge. Okay, it has to go through it has to go through the process. That is a science, because suddenly the plastic has to be melted, it has to be processed, it has to be heated up, and all those things. So everything has the process there, right? So that is the meaning of a science. Now it has three important points: systemized body of a knowledge. Okay, it is based on principles or theories which is experimental, and it which is accepted universally, and it is validated. Okay, and it is validated. Okay, now let's understand this thoroughly. Say it's a systemized body of a knowledge. See, science is a systemic body of a knowledge. Its principles are based on cause and effect, right? The relationship. For example, the phenomena of an apple. You might have heard in the what do you say? Uh, Einstein's theory, which says falling of an apple, or apple from a tree towards the ground is explained by the law of gravity, right? There's a law of gravity, right? If you throw something on top, like if you throw something on top, it will fall down, right? So that is a science. And similarly, in the management also, we have certain set of rules, we have certain set of laws, okay, which has to be followed. Getting it has a principles. Like for example, we have in a human resource department, we have a company gives the policies. We have at least 1 day casual leave or a 1 day annual day leave in a month. It is a policy. Every company which has more than certain amount of people working in the organization has to um, has to have one casual leave, or one casual leave or a sick leave or annual leave. Okay, depend. There is a set of rule which has been put by the government, whether it is any region, whether it is American, whether it is America, or whether it is Canada or India or anywhere. Every government has their set of rules for the employees who are who have who are working into the private sector or the government one. These are the set of principle. For an example, if it is a huge company, government will provide government will say that you have to open the company only in the special economic zone. That is a set of a rule which has been provided, and they will give the subsidiaries as well for that. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, coming to any other example. Yeah, understood, right? It is very easy. It's just a it's a systematic body of knowledge which has a principles, which has a process which you need to follow. you know you just can't for example, you can't say that today I will come and tomorrow I will not come to the office. If you compare this, or our what do you say, especially the labors, right? Especially the labors, the time has been set. What I mean, our masons or a carpenter, very unprofessional sometimes I'm saying. That's the reason they say the difference between professional labor, labor and unprofessional labor. Sometimes they are very unprofessional, like Today they'll come to work, and immediate next day they will say that I'll be coming in as soon as they, you provide the wages, and they'll go off from the. That is very unprofessional way. So when but it doesn't work the same thing in the company, because company, you have to be a professional. You need to follow a set of rules which has been set by organized company, your CEO or your management. Okay, now this management principle is also a science with a second point, which says the principle is based on the experimentation. Of course, scientific principles are first developed through observations, right, and then tested through a repeated experimentation under controls and conditions. So what happens, certain times you fail multiple times, and you learn from it. You fail, you learn, you fail, you learn, you fail, you learn, you know and you implement it. So when I say a principle, management principle is based on experimentation. We experiment and see. For example, we are experimenting how this technology is coming up. The technologies are coming up basically. They are experimenting. They are experimenting. Initially we never used to have an access for the internet, and after internet came, a lot of things went easy. It was easy for us to book a cab by sitting at home. It was easy for us to pay electric bill by sitting at home. What were that they tested multiple time, and that were experimented, and they failed it, then ultimately it got implemented. So management is also same thing. When they sit at the discussion, they decided on the project to do this work, you know and they test it for they test it. If it's successful, they'll implement it. There is an experimentation which goes on. And the third point which comes here is the universal validity. Of course, when it is done, the validity of those experiment is universally accepted. Okay, universally accepted. Whether it is anywhere in the world, whatever it is. Like, for example, like, there is a one company who is located in all over the world. Okay, so a management has decided to give a bonus for entire company 2%. So that is implemented to all over the world employees of that particular company, right? That's how it is. For example, take an example. This often happen with most of the corporate, wherein the company decides that, especially at the time of a Christmas, most of the American companies, they give a last day holiday, the last week of a December compulsory holiday. People have to take complete 10 days. In that, 4 to 5 annual leaves will be deducted from the employee. They have to take all they have to take these leaves at any cost. So that's a universal phenomena which work goes on. Okay, so yes, this is how the management, as a science. Okay, so coming to the next one, uh, to understand how management as a profession. What is profession, guys? Profession, every we say you are a professional guy. you know we say you have understood. We say a lot of things, right? You are not unprofessional. What is the difference between a professional and an unprofessional? A professional guy is accountable, he is responsible, for all the task which is given. An unprofessional guy, he is not accountable, he is not responsible. He don't give more important to the, it has to be, he don't give a more important to effectiveness and efficiency, right? So similarly, let's understand how this management is as profession. Okay, so then that the first point is, it is well defined body of knowledge. Getting it? When it's well defined body of knowledge. This is very much related to the first existence of a theoretical knowledge in a management as an art. Because well defined body of a knowledge is what? Because every professions are based on the well defined body of a knowledge, right? when there is a knowledge, that's the reason we are designing and setting it. For example, who code the software? A software engineer. Of course, obviously there's a, it is a defined knowledge which has been used. And if you take an example of a finance guy, a CA or a commerce guy will be doing their invoice related jobs or payments related jobs or any financial transaction which takes place. So everything has the defined body of knowledge. Then the next point which comes in as a profession, there's a restricted entry. So here the entry is restricted. Basically, to make you understand here is, to become a chartered accountant in India, a candidate has to clear the specific examination of a chartered accountancy, right? Okay, by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So it is restricted. For example, if you want to be a scientist, he has to, finish his post graduation. He has to do his post. What do you say? Yeah, post graduation from in so and so. What do you subject? He has to write the thesis and all those things. Similarly, in a management, if you have to grow certain ladder, if you have to enter into it, you have to have certain degree, you have to have certain, what do you say, qualification to enter into that job. That's what it means. It's a profession. And professional association, of course, very much similar to that. And all professions are affiliated to professional association, which is regularly entry, like guaranteed certificate of a practice and a formulated that enforce the code of conduct. It, professional association. For example, every companies has their, some have a committee, you know to take care of legal things. Okay. Um you know we will have, like, if you say okay, if you say in India, most of the lawyers, they will have their bar associations, right? Which regulates the control, and which regulates and controls the activity which is happening in the court of law. Similarly, in organizations also, we have that associations with, what do you say, associations with those institutions which provides the professional knowledge. you know for example, a finance industry is very much associated with Indian chartered accountant as a, what do you say, institutes, or ACA, like affiliated institutes, or corporate secretary institutes. So something similar to that, right? So they will be associated with some of the, a knowledge based, a professional, a knowledge based universities or institutions to take intakes. No, why do you think the most IITians and IIMs, uh, are getting recruited by a top companies? Because these are the institutes who gives the bundle of knowledge, bundle of knowledge, be it in strategies, whether it is in a finance, whether it is in a marketing, whether it is a problem solving, anything for that matter. Okay, understood. That association, management will have the professional association. Okay, now coming to the next points, which is nothing but the ethical code of conduct. So what do you mean by a code of conduct, guys? Ethical code of conduct. See, basically all courses are bound by the code of conduct which guides the behavior of its member, right? If you are, just because you are a boss, you cannot act, what do you say, rude with your employees, just because you are boss. Because boss has a responsibility, accountability to get things done. Okay, to get the things done. But here, if it is not happening, he cannot, he just ask, he should ask the employees why it is not happening. If it is a training issue, ask the people to give the training. If it is a behavioral issue, ask them to counsel it. But you cannot, there is a process. If it is not happening, they will, even after training also, if it is not happening, they will give extra time, to learn, and it will happen within that. And if even if it is not happening also, some of the companies have their policy, and the countries also have their policy to ask to leave. Okay, but there are certain countries like in Europe and all, the labor laws are very strict. If you are asking the employee to leave the organization, would be a what do you say, a very bad remark to any one of them. But in India it is very common, right? You can see even in the US as well. You might have heard the stories recently, Twitter, Accenture, people, they are firing people left, right, center. Like, it depends. But there are some ethics and a code of conduct. Especially, see, these ethics code of conducts most of the time matters, where in your behavioral part, like, especially if you take for the women employees. Okay, what happened, women employees, there are set of rules you need to follow, because uh, they are set up. You just can't pass any rule, any wrong comments to the women employee. You cannot ask for any favors, any undue favor from the women employee. Okay, you cannot prefer only women employee, or you cannot prefer only male employee as well. Okay, to complete the complete the task of organization. There are certain ethics. Okay, there are certain code of conducts, right? Getting it, guys? So hope I think I was able to explain you about this. I think there's one more point, right? Which is service motive. Of course, service motive. The basic motive of a profession is to serve the clients, right? The interest by rendering the dedicated and committed services. You service motive. What are the most of the service? Like, if you go to the bank, what do? If you go to ICICI Bank, for an example, there is a one guy who come in front of you and he welcomes you. He take you to the service representative. He will ask what is an issue, what you want to do. If you want to do the make the payment, they will ask to sit there. Okay, take a token. So they are providing a service. That's their motive. Every company has their motive. In the same way, our management is as a profession. You have this 4 points, which is well defined body of a knowledge, which is restricted entry, which is professional association, which also has ethical code of conduct and service motive. Okay, guys, still here, this was all about your nature of management till now. So here we learned all these things: management as art, management as science, and management as profession. Okay, so moving forward, let me check what do we have. Okay, a very interesting thing, guys. Next topic is very easy. Okay, and important, very important. I think the diagram itself shows you, what it is, right? Levels of management. See, by diagram itself you'll come to know how many levels of management, guys. There are three level of management. What is that? You have lower management, which is nothing but the operative one. You have middle management, you have top management. Okay, now let's discuss one by one each level of management of workforce. Okay, the first comes as a lower or operative management. Now, who are these lower or operative management? These guys are, I have already written there, could be your associate workers, your foremen, supervisors, junior managers, inspectors, who inspects thing, or okay, then or a clerk, okay, who do the operation jobs basically in a production industry, who is sitting on that, what do you say, production belt, who okay, who is doing a quality check, who is a team leader, and all those things. These guys are the lower management or operational level or an operative management who actually operate in a company. Okay, it doesn't mean that other middle level or top level doesn't operate, but their responsibility will be different, as and here, as and when you go on top, you can see that left, right and left. As and when you keep going on top, the responsibility starts increasing. You can see the right arrow which shows the responsibility. From down to top, the responsibility will be too much. From top to down, the authority will be low. Getting it? So let's take an example of a lower operative management. The authority will be low, right? Because he will do only that work which has been told by their manager or the middle level guys or the a senior supervisors or the manager. What manage everyone does? We do only those jobs which has been given by the middle management to me. I'll finish that work and close the books and go off from the office. The authority is less and responsibility also will be less. But when you keep growing the ladder of this management, when you go on the second level, that is a management, mid level management. Now, who are these mid level management? Your manager, whether it's a marketing manager or your purchasing head, your sales head, your operating manager, your branch manager, your finance manager, or your what do you say, HR manager. Okay, so these guys are what they take a responsibility. They take, how does it happens, right? From top, you have the executives, top manage, you have those executives, then executive directors, whomsoever. Then it comes to the work comes down to the middle level management. Okay, managers or what do you say, a marketing head or the head zonal head or something. Then it comes down to the supervisors, foreman, junior manager, or the people who are actually working on the field. Okay, so these are the middle level management who your middle level, like purchasing managers. Until it depends on the companies actually. In India, I think most of the Indian companies, the designation differs, right? They call it as country head, zonal head, director, something like that, for a for a top management. And for the middle management, they call it what do you say, like a sales manager or a purchase manager, your operation manager. And then for a lower level, you have executive, senior executive, associate, senior associate, team lead, quality lead, and all those stuff. Okay, all these guys, sorry, not stuff, all these guys. So and who are the top level guys? Top level guys are your CEO, CFO, your CIO, Chief Information Officer, Chief Technology Officer, your President, Managing Director, Chief Sales Officer, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Production Officer. Okay, something like that. These are the top guys who strategize, sit in the management team, who strategize things, and and give those ideas how to develop the company, how to produce, how how to, what do you say, what do you say, how to give the ideas to the middle level management so that they can implement it and expand the businesses and under grow the company. Okay, and I hope this, and by this chapter, it by seeing this, what do you say, a diagram itself, it is clear that this can be easily understood. Anything else do you want me to give? See, man, this is very simple things, no, guys. Even if you take this example from our daily life also, so in our life, this all happens. When you are child, you keep doing everything. When you grow little, what do you say, when you are into your mid age, the responsibility starts growing up. When you are a kid and all, there won't be any much responsibility. When you get married, if you have when you have those kids, then you have a responsibility increases. You need to put the kids to the school. You have to take care, you have to run the family. These all things happens, right? So similar to that, and it's easy to understand, I feel. Okay. That is the level of your managements. Moving on to the, let's see what topic do we have else. Okay. Okay, the next topic is very interesting topic. So before that, let me take a 5 second break and drink water. One second, guys. Okay. Uh, one sec. Okay. Okay, guys. Let's resume our class. So we were on. Uh, slide. Okay. So the next important topic is a functions of management. So I think by seeing this diagram itself is understandable, right? I'll help you understand each and every topic in detail. Planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, easy one. One, two, three, four, five. These are the management functions. Now, this is very important topic, guys, and this is helpful for you very much. Let's understand this all the thing in one example. I'll give you one example, the same examples and easy to understand, and very much related to the students of the commerce and especially PUC age guys. Okay, think, let's take the same example. You have planned to go to, again, trip somewhere. You have planned to go to a trip to the Goa. By saving, it's really interesting now. By hearing Goa, everyone feel good about it. So when you want to go to the Goa, what happens? Okay, planning happens, organizing happens, staffing happens, directing happens, controlling will also happen. Now, how is that? I will try to give you the example of this. You decide, you set of a people, friends decided some five people to go to Goa. Okay, Now you start planning 2 days before or a 1 week before. You plan about what all you plan. You plan about where to go to Goa, where to stay, which resort to stay, which hotels to stay, okay, and what is the budget they are providing. Our budget is 1,000 rupees per day, okay. Whether is it you will try to find that kind of a resort or something like that in a Goa. Then what else? You plan all your all that, like you plan your holiday. Basically, if you are working, sorry, you are a student, guys, I'm sorry, you are a student, so you'll ask your parents that I want to go to the Goa. You start planning, right? Then if there are certain if there are certain students who don't get permissions, I know, even they pretend, they'll do a lot of what do you say, reasons. They give a lot of reasons to the parents why they want to go to Goa. Some even say that I want to go to Goa to do what do you say, industrial trip, something like this. When you're going to the Goa, definitely your parents may not understand that. Your parents may not believe that you are going to go to Goa to do the industrial trip, right? I'm just this is I'm just joking on this, but you plan, right? Okay, coming to the topic, you plan certain things. Then what happened? You start organizing things. Okay, you will ask, you will organize things. First let's do things. First let's book this thing. What do you say? A cab. Okay, first inquire about the cab. You start implementing the plan now, right? You start organizing. Sorry, it's not implementation yet. Planning is done. Now you start organizing things, start gathering the information. Now how many resorts are there? How many who gives under our budget? How many hotels are there? Which hotel is near to which beach? Okay, then what else? I'm trying to give a very relevant example so that you know so that you understand this very well, because this is a topic you need to write, because this is very important, which may also come for the 8 marks in your which will come for your 8 marks in your examinations. Okay, very important, because if you don't understand this thing, right, then and relate the same thing in an organizational part, it will be it will be easy for you. I'm giving you this related example, then I'll also give you the related example of the organization, actual company, how does it happen, right? You organize things, which bike or do I need to go by bike? If it is a near, you want to go by bike. Then which car or a jeep or something, which vehicle to hire. You have multiple things. You ask to the cab drivers, you will take those all things, you do it. Now that is an organizing. Now coming next thing to staffing. In staffing, what do you do? You have organized. Now for those five things, right, you have five friends. One friend will start doing one job. You start, you know uh, what do you say, staff it. Okay, you will say, you will do this, you will do this, you will do who no, sorry, who will do this, not you will do. That comes in a directing. Staffing is what, who will do this. For example, there are five friends, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, A will uh, not all five. Among five, three will among five, only three will do the all the stuffs. A will do that, B will do this, C will do this. Now you start directing things. You give, okay, you say A to A, A has to take care of a vehicle, B has to take care of food, C has to take care of hotel stay and all. Now there is a one leader among you who will be doing the controlling part. There is always one friend, right, who keeps talking, and who try to control the entire crowd, right? So and you control the trip, and you go and successfully come back, you enjoy and come back. This is an example, very silly example, which I want to give you. Okay, now let's see how do you relate this in an organization. Okay. Okay, planning. First let's planning. A planning is a function is what? determining in advance. You are determining in advance everything. Like for example, your boss, you have now has told you that you need to start a new project, of developing a one product. Developing, for example, you already have one product, now you want to do certain modification in that product, and you need to do this. So you started. So what do you predetermine in advance all the things, what to do, to be done, and who is to do this. you know this implies setting goals in advance basically, and developing a way of achieving them effectively and efficiently. you know in advance you are deciding and asking it, and you have to decide it has to be achieved effectively and efficiently, right? In some organizations the objective is procurement and the sale of a traditional Indian handlooms and what do you say, handicraft item. What do you guys do? They sell fabrics, furnishing, ready-mades and household items made out of a traditional Indian foods. So what someone has to do, a person who is opening this, who has this idea or a project, he has to decide the quality, variety, color, the quantity, you know and all those, and allocate those resources, right? So you are planning in advance. Planning is nothing but planning in advance to, who has to do what, how has to do. Now coming to the next part is your organizing. Organizing is the management of function. Organizing is a is a part of is a management function of assigning duties, basically grouping tasks, establishing authorities, and allocating the resources required to carry out a specific plan. Now you have a plan. Now you are going to decide who is going to do what. Remember that example of a what do you say, resort. Similarly, who is going to do? I am going to get water. I am food. Someone is going to get what do you say? Take care of, what do you say? Take care of what? Take care of hotels. Someone is going to take care of vehicle and all those stuff. The organizing function examines the activity, basically examines the activity and resources, what, how many people is required to complete that task, okay, and the resources to implement that plan. Once the plan is ready, now you sit and organize how many people we need, and all those stuff. It determines whether the activities and the resources are intact is required. Basically who will do what kind of a things, who will do what particular task. Similarly, in a planning is, what is a planning? You advance, it's an advanced plan. Now to that plan, whatever you guys have decided, organize things now. Who is going to do what and all those stuffs. Now next thing is your what? Next is was your staffing. It is simply stated is finding the right people for the right job. For an example, if a manager who is good in public speaking, and if he's a manager is giving him a job, a back end related job, he will not be comfortable because he has to be very good. If he is good in a public speaking, then he will do his job. He will do a great job in sales, right? Identifying the right person is very important here in staffing. Getting it? You just can't hand over, what do you say as you can't hand over a work to a person who is not capable of doing that, right? Getting it? So what is basically, understand one word, identifying the right people with the right qualification who are available at the right place and right time to accomplish that goal. That is important in staffing. If you understand this one, is done. This is also known as a human resource function, because under human resource function, the staffing guys, will do it. What happens in this thing? Staffing, we have a staffing team, right? For example, in a HR department, we will have a staffing team. You go to the interviews, right? After completion of your graduations. Now they sort out, right? Uh, there are BCom people, there is a BE people, BE candidates, BCom candidates, you have science candidates as well. Now they have opening for only two, with for the commerce and science, okay. uh, Getting it? For the science, even the journalism also should be fine. They think that they even have the opening for all these things. They sort it out, right? So BCom guy will be going here in the comma, this for accounts payable. Think that if you have a requirement for accounts payable or accounts receivable, they'll go there. A science guy who has completed his engineering in computer science will be going to code the coding job. Okay, software engineering job. A person who is really good in journalism and all those things in the media, journal media, if he has learned his bachelor of arts in journalism or something like that, he will be going there. So identifying the right person and allocating that, thing, and giving the right, what do you say, opportunity to the right candidate will be done by the staffing guys. Getting it? Now coming to your next functions, which is nothing but the directing. Directing involves leading, influencing, and motivating employees to perform the task assigned to them. What is directing? Do this. You need to lead. A team leader. What does the team leader does in any company? You have one team. You have a subordinates among you of 10 executives or associates. You know, and you have one team leader among 10 associates. So what will you do? You will lead the team to do the work. If the associate is not ready, if if he doesn't know to do the work, you will train them. Team leader will train them, right? And basically, a directing job is nothing but leading and influencing and motivating some. For example, if the employee is feeling dull today due to some reason, you know direct him, ask him to take rest, and motivate him. If he doesn't know to do the job, show them, explain them, do the counseling, directing them to direct to what to do. That requires establishing an atmosphere, basically, and encourage the employee to do their best. That is very important, because some of the jobs are so monotonous, you feel bored, you get bored sometime after some point of time initially. Like, you might know, right? To give an example, initially even this hostel guys, they feel very good, they find their hostel food very good. But after some time they realize that, they realize that that is very bad, because there won't be a taste at all. You guys are having food just to have it, because there's no other chance, there's no other way, you are having it. So similarly, in organizations also, you will get bored after doing, and you know um, same job multiple times, or they have to change, they will have to switch the jobs for short duration, and motivate them, and so on. That all comes in at directing. Hope I was able to make that point clear. Okay. What else? In directing is very important, guys, especially in the sales industries, right? It happens, you know you direct your subordinates, your managers, to give some extra discounts as well. That directing plays a very important role. You are motivating, you are encouraging the customers also to get, what do you say, to buy their product, by giving some free things. Especially these all happens at the time of Diwali, or any festival like Christmas and all, right? Or Independence Day. Remember, there's a big billion day. What do they do? The management would have directed these guys. They would in a manage. They would have taken a decision in order to increase the sales, to give some, what do you say, discounts at the time, if you buy in that time period. These all the, what do you say, functions of management. Now coming to the last function, which is nothing but the controlling. What is controlling? A controlling is in the management is a management functions of monitoring organizational performance. That is very important, guys. So what will happen if you go back to the same example? You guys have planned everything. If things goes wrong, right? If things goes wrong in a trip, you need to have that backup. That controller has to be there. You guys have now, if you link to this the same example here, if there is no controlling in an organization, then you will lose the grip among employees, you will lose the grip among your work, right? On work, sorry, on work, you will lose the complete authority. Basically, controlling has to be there. Why managers are there, why team leaders are there? You can just have, why that designations will be there. You can just have all those on the sorry, bottom level management guys, who are low level working, who are working day and day out. Why there is a supervisor, why there is a quality check guy, why there is a manager, why there is a senior manager? It's all because to control your work, whether you guys are doing it, and check whether have you guys done it is correct or no, as per the requirement or no. Why is that? Most of the time, if you have seen to the branded clothes, right, like whether it is a Peter England or Ellen Solly or Louis Philippe, even the stitch is moved here a little bit, the shirt will be rejected, because the quality team checks that. That's a control in place, they have it, because they need exactly the 100% complete finished product and fine product, which is likable by the customer. That is a dedication of the company which they give it. Why most of the people are, why most of the companies are so successful? Because they don't compromise on the quality. They never compromise on the quality. That is important. Why they do it? Because the controlling is there. Even the silly, you might have seen the big branded shoes as well. Even the little bit is tear, they will reject it, and it will go to the secondary market. You for some 5,000 shoes, you will get it in a 500. So that is different. But if you want to take the same branded, completely finished product, exactly find product in 5,000 rupees in the showroom, getting. So controlling is very important to perform the objectives at on a top level, because that measuring the current performance is very also important. What happens if you don't measure the performance of an employee, right? He will keep doing his job, whether he's doing right, wrong, who knows. If it is wrong, you have to correct it. There has to be a controller who correct things. This is very critical, and most of the companies are uh, you know successful because of this kind of a hype. Most of the companies believe in their brands, right? Why are there, if you take Apple, Mac, those all things, that's a brand they have created by giving that such a great quality, right? So this is about the controlling, and I hope this the entire what do you say, the function of management, I was able to explain you in a right manner. If you guys have any concern, any questions, whether it is a silly questions also, you can go ahead and ask. I'm still okay, still available on the live chat. So so by this, let's summarize today what all we did. Okay, we did nature of management, which is management is an art, science, and profession. We completed levels of management, how the authority, responsibility, goes up and down at the on the each level of management. And we also covered the very interesting topic of functions of management, which includes planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. This is very important. Each thing will come up. So we are left over some one last coordination topic at the end. Okay. uh, on the end of this chapter, we will try to do tomorrow, or maybe let's see, we will come up along with the questions of this chapters, whatever till now we have learned it, and the important questions for your board exams as well. Okay, please don't forget to like, share. If the people have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel, Unacademy, and rock in your exams. Okay, so let me thank you and wind up for this session for now. Have a great day ahead. God bless you. Thank you.